Hey guys, Dragon Ball for Life here today, and I'm back with another video. Now, today's video we're going to be reacting to Saiyan Scholar once again. Ultimate Form Gohan is Sickening. Now, this should be the second part of the Moro arc, which was the last video of his I reacted to. I think he's going to also go into the Granola arc, and that should be the end of his series for now, until the manga picks back up, which has been on hiatus for a while. We don't know when it's coming back. Also, I want to say I was wrong when I mentioned, I think I said the second part of the tournament, Power Arc had like 500 or whatever views. I was wrong. That one had like 160 or something like that. It did have like still twice as much as the first part, but the one that did hit that much was actually the Broly one, which right now I think it's at close to 700 or possibly already 700 by now. But yeah, I've been doing really good on that one too. That's my third highest, viewed video on this channel. So big thank you to all of you guys for viewing that video. I know you guys love these videos from this channel, but I don't want to make all my videos just on him because I don't want to bank on him. I'm just making these videos on his videos because, well, they're interesting and I have things that I want to talk about and discuss about. But yeah, I don't want to just solely focus on his, like, I'm trying to steal his content. It's just that some stuff I think is interesting, but I will be getting to my regular content, like, in my next video. But yeah, thank you for that. Also, I will be reacting to Death Battle's newest video, the Michael Myers versus Jason one, which I think Jason's going to win. That's my prediction. I will be reacting to that one. I'm not going to react to the SpongeBob, Aquaman one. I skipped it because I really didn't care about that one. I just wanted to see what's going to happen next week. So yeah, I'm going to be definitely checking that one out. Also, I will be doing the, Trunks versus Silver video again. Though it's not going to be a reaction video. It's just going to be a discussion video on what happened in that video and my thoughts on it. So yeah, let's get into this video.
We continue the Moro arc after Goku, Vegeta and Majin Buu retreat for their lives. Moro's plan is to continue consuming planet after planet. In terms of how many he consumes, it's later revealed by him to be countless planets. But we do see about 5 or 6 planets get consumed as a demonstration of what he is doing in that time. Bearing in mind, this would be around 2 months of consuming planets before the big battle on Earth. So just hold that thought as to how ridiculously stronger he gets. As evidence of his growth, it's stated multiple times, Moro is getting stronger during this time. And today you will also see why the power of Ultimate Gohan in the Moro arc and why the Elder Kai unlockability is repulsive. And by that, I mean nasty and unpleasant. It's extremely powerful, unbelievable. Meris agrees to train Goku in helping him master Ultra Instinct. Meris says that he will unleash his full power in training whilst within a room of spirit and time, but it's later revealed by Whis he had only been training Goku and not used any angelic abilities, where Whis later steps in right before Meris wasn't about to hold back, so we know Goku didn't get a full angel potential to train against. As for Vegeta, he's training on Yardrat to control his spirit, which also grants a significant boost in power, which will be revealed shortly. On Earth, trouble is brewing. We learn that the criminal known as OG-73I has an ability to steal powers from others for up to 30 minutes by grabbing their neck. If he doesn't use them, it's stored in his databank. Jaco says 7-3 is already strong, but the copies give him an extra boost. That the copied data is just as strong as the copied person. Punches, kicks, blasts, power, there is no difference. The big difference is OG-73I has unlimited stamina, so this naturally gives him the advantage over the copied individual, unless they have unlimited stamina too, which in Piccolo's case, he doesn't. So 7-3 arrives on Earth and beats down Piccolo with a clear stamina advantage. However, Gohan shows up and annihilates 7-3, clearly showcasing Gohan is way above Piccolo. This Gohan is amazing, as said before. If he was on Namek previously, he could have ended this whole Moro arc. And now he's even stronger than when he was in the Tournament of Power. Gohan's last known power was 7.5 nonillion in the Tournament of Power. Gohan's power can easily get a tier boost since the Tournament of Power. As we know, he doesn't slack off training here in the manga. This pushes 7-3 to activate the data of Moro he stored in order to fight back against Gohan. That's right, you need a power of Moro Prime to deal with Gohan. This data of Moro is Moro Prime, and would reasonably be the version of Moro Prime that we saw leave planet Namek, where that's where he met OG-73I. Moro wants to rule, so there's no way he would absorb a ton of planets and then give OG-73I the strongest version of himself. It's likely to be the one that left Namek, where Moro then knew he would start consuming more planets on his own part to exceed the copy copied data, just to maintain top villain dominance. Moro Prime and the copied data of him is 20 nonillion. Either way, whilst using Moro's abilities, 7-3 absorbs Gohan's Kamehameha. 7-3 utilizes Moro's abilities to aid his own body as well. This is how 7-3 has grown stronger over the years. Yes, the special abilities wear off, but if there's any extra power he gains whilst using those abilities, such as absorptions, those power boosts remain with him. It's stated he became a powerhouse over the years, so this works. So after 7-3 deactivates Moro's abilities, his raw baseline power would be that of Gohan's Kamehameha energy, that being 2.2 times Gohan for the Kamehameha amp. So even though 7-3 switches off Moro's abilities, his raw body is just that strong now. I've done this in previous scales with Z and the androids, and also with GT and Super 17, where if they absorb an attack, they acquire the power level of that attack, because that's how attacks work. Their power level rises, and they launch that power level in an attack form towards the opponent. The reason why Gohan isn't depleted after using this power is because stamina is a factor on why power works and restores during a fight. 7-3 goes to absorb Gohan's power even more, but he does not consume it, he just fizzles it out because Moro wanted him to withdraw. As for Piccolo, we don't know any last known power due to the fact there was nothing to gauge him off in the manga Tournament of Power, but in this arc, we will find something to gauge him off. 7-3's power is tricky to understand due to the change in power. I see his raw baseline power staying with him, which means whatever data he switches to won't put him less than the raw base power he has on his own. But if there's two data, for example Gohan and Piccolo, when he switches from Gohan to Piccolo, his copied data power will decrease from Gohan to Piccolo, but never below OG 7-3's own baseline power, if that makes sense.
Okay, so to reiterate what he just said, basically he has a baseline level of power which is high, and when he switches over to characters that are more powerful, his power goes up to match that, like Moro's. But if he goes to a weaker character, it won't go less than what his baseline level was. It will decrease compared to like a higher one like Moro if he's using Piccolo or Gohan's, but it would just decrease to their level. I mean, if his powers above their level, then it will be just decreasing, but it will be significantly still a little bit higher than his own. But it will be decreasing depending on who he's using it from. I want to say this, I think OG 7-3 was one of the coolest and most unique, enemies that they had, and it kind of made him a bit of like a second, like, henchman in this. I felt like they could have made a whole story of him beforehand. Like, instead of giving us, Broly and repetitive stories, they could have just given us OG 7-3, a bio-created creature like, Cell was, but with cooler and more unique abilities added to him. I really like I think his design is okay. It kind of looks like a little bit like Hit, but just a little different. But I'm fine with it. But I do love his abilities and what he can do. I think it's very cool. I think they could have made, a whole arc on him instead of wasting it on other characters that didn't really need one. I mean, they redid like the Cell thing with Cell Max. They could have just used somebody like him instead of that. So yeah. But yeah, this is pretty interesting.
So here his baseline is 20 nonillion. If he switches to Moro Prime's data, he will also get access to the Magic Amp, which amplifies the power already there, so 100 times in this case for Moro's Magic Amp, putting OG 7-3's maximum capabilities currently at 2 decillion, for less than 30 minutes though. Moro definitely risked everything giving OG 7-3 access to his powers, but Moro would be presumed to be even higher than this by the time of the next battle. Moro decides to wait for Goku and Vegeta to arrive so he can have a bigger feast. That is the reason, believe it or not. So this is where those 2 months pass, whilst the Z fighters prepare for the battle, and it's implied they trained in preparation. After 2 months, Gohan and the others get even more unbelievable in power. 7-3 turns back up for round 2. Gohan and Piccolo expect 7-3 to copy them, where they would then use teamwork as an advantage to stop him. The goons also think that Gohan and Piccolo's training had gone to waste because it's being copied, so this would mean 7-3 found it necessary to take this new power that exceeds his current baseline power upon leaving previously. So if 7-3 was 20 nonillion upon leaving before, this would mean both Gohan and Piccolo have surpassed that limitation in the last 2 months of training. Otherwise, why would 7-3 even bother to copy Piccolo if he doesn't need that boost or advantage from Piccolo's power? Now, he could switch.
I don't agree with that. The reason why he copied Piccolo is not because of power, because these copying stuff is not solely all power, and I don't think the main focus was about the power. It was the abilities that you get from it, because he does have regeneration. He has like stretching. He has all these other Namekian abilities that he could use to his advantage. I think that's why he absorbed his power, specifically, not because he was insanely powerful, just because he had unique abilities that he can add to his repertoire. And for somebody like Gohan, remember, he can also learn about their memories and their fighting style. So if he takes somebody that's closer to the main guys that he's gonna be fighting against, this will give him more of an advantage. His also probably his design, since he was genetically made, was to absorb powers and abilities from strong fighters who have crazy abilities. Probably is just an innate ability within him to do so, not because he sees that they're just super powerful and trying to gain their power. So I don't really agree with that argument, because like I say, there might be more to it. Like, one, through what he was made for was just to absorb powers and abilities. It doesn't matter how powerful the people are. And two, the abilities, he saw that there was some potential in it, or also understanding on how to deal with the two other adversaries that are going to come in that are going to be a bigger threat. So him copying Gohan's ability could also just be because he had some pretty good unique abilities, has good fighting styles, and also he understands them. Because I remember they did mention in this arc that when he absorbed it, he was able to read like Piccolo's movements and stuff, or I think it was like Gohan's movements. He was able to understand the movements because he knew who they were, because they had their memories. So I think that's what happens when he does it normally. So I don't really count that.
Switch to Moro's data and crush everyone, but it's been said multiple times in the story and by Moro himself for 7-3 to conserve that data and not just go and use it. So this ties in with him trying to beat Gohan and Piccolo without using the Moro data initially. Ultimate Gohan has grown nearly 5 times stronger in the last 2 months, and Piccolo has become even more of a monster than his previous self. So I place him a tier above 7-3's initial power, but then I put Gohan as 2 times Piccolo because Gohan could comfortably use his ki to negate a special beam cannon on the levels of Piccolo's power, and it's officially stated in the Daizenshu that in order to negate an attack you need to emit power 2 times stronger than the opponent. So if the special beam cannon's multiplier is around 3 to 4 times of a boost like in the Saiyan saga, Gohan could negate it comfortably. The reason I say Piccolo equals 7-3 is because Gohan's barrier didn't really do the pushing in the beam struggle. It was Piccolo's own attack that pushed back the most, with Gohan's only giving him a small edge to overpower the equal opponent. But 7-3 then switches to Ultimate Gohan, now putting him at 50 nonillion. But Gohan and Piccolo managed to defeat him with teamwork. 7-3 switches to his copied Moro abilities, and now Gohan and Piccolo are in trouble. All I'm going to say is if you think Piccolo is busted from the power creep here, wait until you see Android 17. Android 17 is able to dominate the Moro data of 7-3 and was on the verge of beating him. 17's power can't be absorbed, but Moro's magic is not just an absorption, it's a performance enhancement, and Android 17 overwhelms it more than easily, so I put in 1.5 times 7-3's power with Moro's magic amp, making Android 17 a monstrous 3 decillion in power. Android 18 is a mysterious one because
Yeah, that was kind of BS. It's weird that he would do that. Yes, they did make him super powerful for the Tournament of Power, but at this point, he couldn't barely handle Jiren, and, I'm not saying that Moro is stronger than Jiren, maybe through his calculations he is, but still, the significant amount of power he would have to go to doing that, because Gohan and Piccolo were struggling against him, and this guy's using Moro's power, and then 17 jumps in and starts beating him. It doesn't make much sense to me that 17 got that much more powerful. I mean, I get it, they're trying to make him more powerful and stuff, but still, it's ridiculous that because that would basically mean he would be able to handle that more at that time. So, yeah. But also, one good thing about him, if he did fight Moro, is Moro could not drain him of his power. Unlike Goku and Vegeta, he has infinite stamina, so he could keep on absorbing and absorbing. That might be bad because Moro would get infinitely stronger, but also you can say 17 won't be really affected by it too much.
she shows up and appears to be on equal performance with 17, but as we know in the past, 17 scaled much higher than her, so there's not enough solid proof she's equal to him here. She could be higher than Piccolo and Gohan here, but it's unknown as she's only taken on a grunt. Remember, there's guys like Krillin, Tien, Yamcha, and Roshi on the battlefield, but that doesn't mean they are all Ultimate Gohan levels for just being there. There's no way to gauge and measure them properly, so I won't put any numbers on them, but remember, anything is possible in Dragon Ball Super, and Android 17 is the perfect example example of this, crushing OG73i, who has Moro's magic amp data. So when Moro arrives, it's stated he's on another level. Moro powers up Sagambo, and this guy can wreck everyone effortlessly. He's able to tank them all, including Android 17, so I put him at least 6 decillion after being juiced up only once. Goku senses Krillin, of all people's power, to teleport to Earth. I can't really say anything about this except for the sheer stupidity of Goku not being able to feel Ultimate Gohan's power, but he can feel Krillin's smaller power. It's just stupid, bad, and inconsistent. Otherwise, we're saying Krillin's ki spiked higher than Ultimate Gohan's here, guys. Guess the inverse reason is that Gohan's beaten up body was so bad that his ki went lower than Krillin's, right? But if you want an Ultimate Gohan level Krillin, use this to laugh at your friends. Oh well, moving on. Goku arrives and Moro powers up Sagambo multiple times more, and he explodes from the overload. And this was after he decimated Android 17 and everyone else. But Super Saiyan Blue perfected Goku was able to completely dominate him, where even before his explosion, he still wasn't Goku levels. So I put Goku 1.75 times Sagambo's best whilst they were in combat. Moro Prime is able to hand off Super Saiyan Blue Goku from behind like he was an annoying fly. So this Moro is far above Super Saiyan Blue Goku. Moro says Sagambo couldn't even withstand that smidgen of energy that Moro gave him. So we will measure Moro very shortly, and we need to see his fight with Ultra Instinct signed first. But Goku's training with Meris made his base form grow 340,000 times stronger. And if you think that's insane, wait until you see Vegeta's. Soon we will talk about Ultra Instinct and the angelic multipliers of the Moro arc that break Dragon Ball Super beyond repair. Please hit the like button if you're a fan of this series, and thank you so much for watching so far. See you in the next one.
So that was Saiyan Scholar's ultimate form Gohan is sickening. This was part 2 of the Moro arc. From what he stated, there's going to be the third part, which I think is going to be the end of this arc. And then the Granola arc probably have 2, maybe 3 arcs too. I mean 3 parts. This is, I think, the biggest most parts he had for any of the arcs. I'm just wondering why. This video was only 10 minutes, so it wasn't that long. He could have definitely, extended out to the other one. I don't know why he's keeping it short. Maybe it's because it takes quite a bit of time to, make these videos and stuff. Because it does seem like it's high production, a lot of work because of the images and the math and stuff. So I can get that, but still, I felt like it would have been better for him to take a little bit more time and just mix those 2 into a part 2 instead of, having them split up into 3, but whatever. Yeah, this was an interesting video. I'm really liking this. I know you guys are also liking these too. The power scaling is just ridiculous. I do think that his math is incorrect in some areas. I think some of the, logic that he puts into the calculations is just not correct. But if I'm being honest, I still do think that his mathematics is still pretty, accurate and still pretty, close. And the only reason it's very hard for him to get it, it's not his fault. It's really just the writing fault, because Toyotaro and stuff, people keep on saying he's a great, the manga was better than the anime, but they both have their problems when it comes to writing and power scaling. And I felt like by the way he's showing it through this, when you actually do the calculations and look at it through a more logical lens, you can see it's very inconsistent, and it's very hard to make mathematical, numerical values for it. For me personally, I wouldn't do it because it just seems very nonsensical, but I do commend him for doing it. Like I said, I know you guys enjoy these videos. Definitely check out my other videos. I do have countless other types of content that I have. I'm still working on and editing the the other video, the part 2 of how strong the Dragon Ball Z characters. I'm gonna be honest, I'm procrastinating a little bit on that one because it's a monster size type of video and I really don't want to do it, but I'm gonna have to do it, and I will try to get it out as soon as possible. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed, and stay tuned for next time.